A little bit of ASMR to start out. It is currently Saturday. I'm sitting on my couch and I want to talk about how TikTok broke my brain. I was on TikTok for pretty much the most formative years of my entire life so far. It's 18 to 24, and I have been about 100 different versions of myself in that time period. So many difficult things, and the backdrop of this very formative, very scary and weird time in my life was a platform of over 500,000 people that were watching me. I think that did something to my brain very bad. People viewed me a certain way, right? Because I was like an influencer. At the same time, I was like struggling to pay my rent and uh, being very depressed and hating my life and hating my job. And then there was just backdrop of, oh, but you have this platform. And that did something to me. And I think it did something bad. But to really get a full grasp on like my time on TikTok, you have to start at the beginning. So we're going to go back to 2019. And TikTok wasn't cool when I joined. It was like a joke. Like Musically was a joke. Like nobody had TikTok. I had graduated high school and I knew I was taking a gap year, and all of my friends, literally all of my friends, were going to the same college. Right when I started posting TikToks was right when I kind of lost everybody in my life. Like my whole friend group that I had through high school, me and my mom had like moved out of my childhood house and in with my sister. My girlfriend at the time had like left for basic training. I was growing very rapidly on this platform. I had a video go viral in August of 2019, and I gained 11,000 followers overnight. And I just remember thinking, oh, well, I could just do this. Over the course of a year, August 2020, I reached 400,000 followers. Okay. It was, fun at first. I was posting like a mix of jokes and like political commentary, and it was pretty easy, in the beginning. It was like you make a joke making fun of Trump supporters, and that's that's the amount of like nuance that was on there. Like, well, these people will be mad at me, but these people won't. And it was easy to kind of distinguish that and accept that. Like, I'm going to make a joke making fun of Trump supporters, and Trump supporters are going to get really mad at me about it. And then I met a guy. I had gone through this breakup with my military girlfriend, and it was August 2020, and I met a guy that I just like fell super head over heels in love with. And again, this was mid COVID, point in my life where I had literally no one. Like, I didn't have a friend group. I was very vulnerable. I was very naive. And I met this guy, and he had friends, and he had like this cool like style and this like lifestyle, I guess, that was really like attractive to me. And it sort of absorbed me, like, in a way. Again, the backdrop to this really weird, like, pivotal time for me was TikTok. So I transitioned into posting more like relationship TikToks, and I had previously like identified as a lesbian, and now I was dating a man. So I made this transition of like, well, now this is my boyfriend, and like, how does everybody feel about this? Like, and I think that was the first time that like I received a lot of like hate from not Trump supporters. Like, I remember when I posted the first video, like with my boyfriend at the time, or like mentioning him, a lot of people were like, wow, so you just like are queer baiting. Like, and it's like, no, I was dating a girl for like almost 3 years, and I like considered myself a lesbian for like 3 years. Like, I don't think that was queer baiting. That was me being age 15 to 19, like figuring myself out. To publicly have to like explain myself in that way felt super weird, because it was like, this is very personal for me, like figuring out my identity and like what I like. I'm very young, but I felt like I owed it to people in a way. because I did have this platform of people that had followed me because I made jokes about being queer. Which, like, looking back, I'm like, I didn't owe anybody shit. Like, that was the thing, but it was like this weird responsibility, I guess. So then the breakup happened. A lot of people found me during this time. I had been sitting at about 400,000 followers for a year. And when the breakup happened, I shot up to over 650 in the span of about 3 months. A lot of people that were also going through breakups kind of found my videos. And when I started posting those videos, it was a cope. I was cheated on in a very weird and like emotionally driven way that just destroyed this like sense of who I thought I was, like my independence and my confidence and like who I am was just destroyed. I started posting videos like pretty immediately after the breakup, and then a week later I found out I was cheated on, and the videos turned into just insane rage. I don't regret doing that because it was real. It was what I was going through. But at the same time, if this same situation happened to me today, I wouldn't do that, obviously. But I was getting like hundreds of messages from people like, "Oh, like I'm going through the same thing right now. Like the way you're posting is really helping me like process everything. I'm going through this terrible thing and I can show people and they can see it and they can relate to it and they can take from my experience and like feel less alone." And then I like found this sense of purpose in this like insane grief I was experiencing. My TikToks kind of transformed into relationships, healing, like healing from heartbreak. I talked less about politics, which is kind of what I had started with, and more about like personal growth. And I guess that's kind of the thing with my TikTok is I always kind of posted about whatever was going on in my life at the time. And I think people enjoyed my content because of that. But then also I felt like I couldn't just go through things privately. It feels odd that I allowed my like grief to like be consumable to others and then also like profitable. After I had really healed from the breakup and I had kind of like found my footing, I had a friend group and I was doing stand-up comedy. It was hard for me to find stuff to make content about because everything in my life was going good. Obviously was still doing political stuff and I was still, like making jokes here and there, but it like got to a point where I was like, am I only going to be successful if I'm in pain? Political posting was always kind of like the constant in my content. There was always something going on that I wanted to talk about or bring awareness to. October 7th, 2023 happened, and from that point on, it got very heavy. Most of my posting revolved around Palestine and the carnage. Because I just like, forced myself to look at what was happening because I didn't want to be one of the people that was like, oh, I don't even want to look at that. Like, nobody wants to look at that. Like, I would see a kid like with its like leg blown off, and I would see like a person flattened by a tank, and I would see like a mother holding the body of her child, like video, ad for a hairdryer, carnage, genocide, ad for makeup. And then they started suppressing the videos, right? Like they started suppressing me because I was talking about Palestine a lot. I sponsored a family and I had to fight like tooth and fucking nail to get my videos on the For You page because they were just suppressing anything that had to do with Palestine. I had to use words like unalived and I had to like skirt around the algorithm and don't use these words and use this one instead and don't say genocide, say G-side or whatever. And it was just like, I was like, this feels so dystopian. Like, what is happening? In my real life, not on TikTok, I was about to make a cross-country move away from my hometown with my boyfriend for the first time in my life. I was leaving my entire family, all my friends, my whole support system, leaving the job I had been at for 5 years to go move to a city I had never even visited. when we moved to Boston, I sunk into this crazy depression. Like for the whole year we were living in Boston, where TikTok was just a point of either talking about terrible things, talking about genocide and bringing awareness to that, talking about the election, and also trying to use TikTok, like talking about these terrible things, right, to like make money because I was still monetizing. Like I was donating like so much money. Like so much of the money that I made was donated to the Palestinian family I was sponsoring. It transitioned from like talking about the terrible things happening to me and monetizing that to talking about the terrible things happening in the world and monetizing that. And I was like, this also just feels bad. And it kind of got to a point where it didn't really matter what I posted. I was making swarms of people unbelievably angry at me. I got attacked from all sides on everything I posted. It didn't matter. If it was a video about Palestine, I was getting attacked by Kamala supporters. If it was a video about Kamala, I was getting attacked by super far leftists. If it was a video about Trump, I was getting attacked by Trump supporters. If I said the wrong word, if I phrased something the wrong way, suddenly I was, getting destroyed. I mentioned earlier in the video, it was pretty easy in the beginning of TikTok where it was like you made a video making fun of Trump supporters and everybody hates Trump supporters, so that was it. It feels like I'm standing in the middle of like an arena and there's 1,000 people around me and all of them are yelling something different and mad at me about something different. I don't feel like the conversations that happen on TikTok anymore are productive. I don't feel like they're in good faith. And I kind of like had this mindset where I was like, well, as long as I'm still making money, people could be mad at me. Kind of like, as long as I'm still, you know, this is still profitable, then I guess I will deal with the toll that it takes on me, which was a lot. People like to say, oh, well, the comments don't affect me and whatever. Like, it's a bunch of strangers online. Like, how are you getting cyberbullied? Just shut off your phone. But when you have a viral video that has millions of views, let's say it has 10 million views, and you have a bunch of comment filters on that filter out certain words, you have 5,000 comments, and then you have 5,000 filtered comments. How you look, how you talk, how you act. People pointing out insecurities that I didn't even know I should be insecure about until they pointed it out. Getting mad at you about anything you could possibly imagine. And it's like, the comments do affect me. They affected me a lot. Thousands and tens of thousands of words just hurled at me because I could never do it right. I could never say the right thing, phrase it the right way. I couldn't look right. I couldn't dress right. My haircut was ugly. My face, my tattoos, my piercings, my weight, how I dressed. It gets in your brain. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's exhausting. It's so exhausting. Then they shut TikTok down for 12 hours, brought it back. They stopped paying people. And when I say stopped paying people, I mean like I'm still in the creator fund or whatever, the creativity program. I had a video that went viral, I think a month ago, and it was maybe my most viral video this year. I think I got about 12 million views in 24 hours. I made $150 on that video. And when I saw that, I was like, fuck it. I can't do this anymore. I can't. The pressure to monetize pain, either my pain or the pain of others. The pressure to constantly have to speak on everything. You have to speak on everything. If you speak on one thing, somebody comments, well, why didn't you talk about this? You speak on that thing, they say, well, you didn't word that right. The constant pressure to perform perfectly, to be the perfect leftist or the perfect whatever you're trying to be brandable. I had to be brandable. I had to work with brands. And I couldn't say certain words and I couldn't post certain things because I needed to pay my fucking rent. And to just be authentic enough to the point where people can relate to you, but not so authentic that you're oversharing. And on top of all of that, having to skirt around the algorithm that actively works against you in every single way. And with all of that, the backdrop of millions of eyes on you at any given second, waiting for you to slip up, waiting for you to say something wrong, waiting for you to say something they disagree with, and then viciously attacking you. I think about the person I could have been had TikTok not been here. And I wonder. I feel like I would be more successful. I feel like I would be more steady. And I feel like I would maybe be smarter. I feel like this app has made me stupid. It's made me angry. It's made me apathetic. Like I said in my last video I posted on TikTok that I feel like I failed. And I feel like I failed because I feel like the app failed me. I feel like the platform itself actively worked against me in every single way, but was somehow so addictive that I just kept coming back. It was like a drug. And I didn't even really get into it in this video, like the external validation of having a viral video and like what that does to your ego and like getting recognized in public. It's so odd. And it was like a high I kept chasing, and I'm over it. Like I can't do it anymore. I'm working a full-time job. It's pretty much like manual labor. Like I'm doing like a manual labor coffee warehouse job, which is cool and I love it. I love working in coffee production. It's fun for me, but I'm physically exhausted at the end of the day. I can't spend that limited free time I have doing something that enrages me and makes me like short-tempered, irregulated. I have so many things I love doing. I love crocheting. I love doing pottery. That's my new thing. I'm doing ceramics classes and I fucking love it. I don't think I've ever enjoyed something artistic as much as I enjoy ceramics. I love hanging out with my friends. I love going and trying new restaurants in the city. I love playing Animal Crossing. I love just doing things that aren't TikTok, and I don't even want to fucking post about them. That's the thing. You should just like transition your content into the stuff that you like to do. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to do that. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do it. And I think that I'll do so on here, on YouTube, if you guys want. I hope that this video maybe gave you some more insight of like my experience and like what it's like to have a platform like that in such a like seriously pivotal time, like in not only my life, but in like the world. Like it was super weird and super hard to navigate. And I hope this encourages you to also get off of the app. The app is not good. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your nervous system. It's like you're just constantly feeding like dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. You aren't bored anymore. You won't let yourself be bored. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, you should subscribe to me. And I'm going to be posting on here because I'm not going to be posting on TikTok. I just really want to get back to the roots of why I like making videos. So that's why I'm here. If you want to come along with me, that would be great. I really appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate everybody that's reached out to me and like let me know that I did impact them on TikTok and I did help them learn something or view something a different way. That's really why I did what I did. I will see you in the next video. Not sure when that will be, not sure what it will be. If you have any ideas for me, let me know. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy.